Hi guys, it's Rich with Pit Lane's Sim Racing. How are you doing? I thought I would continue my little series on reactions to the Formula One Manager 22 videos that they're releasing and have a look at the next one, which is People Power, where we're looking at what they're doing to bring real people into the game.
Looking at how from season to season the drivers change, not just hairstyles, but their attitude. You look at some of them become more confident, more aggressive, better.
Now, David Braben is a legend in game development. He's extremely passionate, really seems to be a really cool guy. So I'm really hopeful for this title.
Their job. I think a game like this absolutely has to be authentic.
And I agree. It has to be authentic. It's got full licensing and everything like that. We all know EA Codemasters do a terrible job with the likenesses of the drivers going into the game, so
F1's a really data-driven sport. We're using that huge database of information so that fans are looking at something as close to real life as possible.
This is what we want. F1 fans, we care, don't we? We really care. We want it to look great. We really want the drivers in there. We want to feel like we're working with the real drivers and things like that. I mean, look at Checo. Leclerc?
Having the driver scans in the game, they just build the authenticity rather than just an anonymous character getting in with certain stats.
Like
it means
Motorsport
you can
Manager.
relate to them much more strongly.
When you're employing Alonso or Hamilton or Max.
For us, one of the key sort of
cool,
pillars of the franchise that we want to build is make sure that it's 100% authentic, and the way to do that for the characters is obviously to bring the drivers here so that we get real, accurate models.
I like that they've also had all the drivers come in to do this.
Here that are pointing at me at the moment. They take over 400 images. It takes about 3 seconds to do that, so there's a lot of flashes, a lot of images, but it's all over in 3 seconds.
Does it add a lot for you in the game to have the real driver likenesses? You know, I think it needs to have it, doesn't it? When I've streamed Motorsport Manager, one of the main comments were, where are the real drivers? Zhou Guanyu, looking basically real. Hamilton looking
data and we create the
better than the Codemaster version.
They get loaded into the game. We have all the drivers lined up so we can balance their textures, make sure they look correct under the right lighting. The process itself is quite quick, but obviously we have a whole batch of drivers to do. It's probably sort of a week or so per character.
That looks awesome. That looks really good.
I'm very excited to be a part of F1 Manager 2022. I play a little bit of managerial games.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
And I enjoy it a lot. I feel like if it can be as close to real life as possible, it's more immersive. And if it can be more immersive behind the scenes in terms of how to manage a team.
Look a bit funny as the turn round, but I think they've done a much better job than Codemasters.
I think just for people to get that experience and that insight into what we do is pretty special.
Not only do we have all of the wonderful drivers and the teams, but obviously we've got all the telemetry that's fed into that from previous races and previous seasons even, of how drivers respond to certain circumstances. That feeling of richness that I am running a team and it really does have those drivers.
I'm really interested, though it's a little bit of a different point, I'm really interested how they're going to mix what's clearly a very data-driven managerial sim with accessibility for more casual gamers. I think that this live viewer is going to do a great job in bridging that gap. I just wonder how detailed it's going to be. Games like Football Manager do brilliantly for football, and they're super data-driven, and I'm really hoping that this is going to fill that void for Formula One fans, because it could be so magnificent. It really could.
It's very exciting.
It feels amazing. I think people who likes you, your fans that can be using yourself in the game, is always a special moment.
Zhou Guanyu seems a nice kid. But do let me know down in the comments. Let me know down in the comments how much it matters. Like, is it a deal breaker for you? If this was F1 Manager, but it had loads of generic drivers like Motorsport Manager, would that put you off? Would it put you off buying completely? And much like my last video, I'm really interested to know if you've already got your eye on a few drivers for your team. So do let me know, guys. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon.